The ruins of peace. The war had ended 3 months ago. Or at least that's what the humans said. The sky above the once blue earth was still gray with dust and metal ash. Whole cities lay like bones picked clean by vultures. Silent, twisted skeletons of steel. The peace that followed was nothing more than exhaustion. Both sides had bled too much to keep fighting. Leora, one of the last surviving Velarians, moved through the ruins of what used to be Boston. Her silver skin, faintly luminous even under soot, was wrapped in a tattered cloak she'd scavenged from a human shelter. Every step she took felt like walking across the graves of her people. She had lost everyone, her squadron, her sister, even her ship. The humans had captured the last Velarian outpost 2 weeks ago. Those who weren't executed were dragged away to camps for processing. Leora had escaped, but barely. Now she hid among the ruins, waiting for the inevitable. The humans would find her. And when they did, she knew what they'd do. Her kind had killed too many of them. That night, as cold rain fell through the roof of a bombed-out library, Leora heard boots crunching on debris. She froze. The sound was slow, careful, a soldier's walk. She reached for her knife, but her hand was shaking. Her body was weak, her left arm wounded. She hadn't eaten properly in days. When the light of a human flashlight swept across her, she didn't run. She just stood there, trembling, her silver eyes wide. The man lowered his weapon slightly. He wore a torn Earth Defense uniform, faded green streaked with blood and mud. His jaw was unshaven, his eyes a tired gray. "Don't move," he said quietly. Leora straightened, chin high. "Get it over with, human." The soldier frowned. "Get what over with? You're going to kill me. That's what you do." He hesitated, and in that hesitation something inside her cracked, because she expected hatred. But what she saw instead was sorrow. Part 2. The man who didn't shoot. His name was Captain Elias Ward. He was a medic once, before the war twisted everything. He'd patched up soldiers on both sides, until the Velarians bombed his base. Since then he'd been fighting just to survive. When he found Leora, he should have turned her in. Command would have paid him for a live Velarian. Instead, he looked at her bleeding arm and saw a patient, not an enemy. "You're hurt," he said softly. "Sit down." "I said kill me," she hissed. "I won't beg. I'm not asking you to." He dropped his rifle and took a step closer. The sound of rain dripping from broken glass filled the silence. Leora's heart pounded. She didn't understand this man. His kind had slaughtered hers, burned her world. "Why?" she whispered. "Why don't you hate me?" He sighed, opening a small medkit. "I've seen enough hate to last 10 lifetimes." She didn't fight him as he cleaned her wound. His hands were gentle, steady, human warmth against alien skin. When he wrapped her arm, she felt something she hadn't felt in months. 4 days after, Elias returned. He brought food, cans of beans, bread, once even a chocolate bar. Leora didn't trust him at first. But hunger broke her pride, and his quiet kindness did the rest. They spoke little. But every time he left, she found herself waiting for the sound of his boots again. One evening she asked, "Why are you helping me?" He looked at her for a long moment. "Because you're alive. That's reason enough. Even if I'm the enemy." He gave a faint smile. "You stopped being the enemy the moment you bled." Her chest tightened. She didn't know what to say. So she just whispered, "Humans are strange. And you're not." For the first time in years she laughed. It was soft, uncertain, like sunlight breaking through smoke. Part 3. The Bloom in the Ruins. Weeks passed. The city slowly healed in small ways. Birds returned, grass pushed through cracks in the concrete. And somewhere among the ruins, two broken souls began to find peace. Elias taught Leora human words she didn't know. Leora showed him how Velarians could heal soil by channeling energy through their palms. Together, they planted a tiny garden in the courtyard of the fallen library. Little green shoots trembling under the gray sky. It became their secret world. Sometimes they talked about their dead, her sister, his brother, both lost to the same war. Sometimes they said nothing, just sat side by side, listening to the wind. One night, under the half-moon, Elias reached out and brushed a strand of silver hair from her face. She didn't pull away. "I should hate you," he murmured. "But I don't. I can't." Her eyes glowed softly. "Then don't." Their lips met, hesitant, searching, and impossibly gentle. For that one moment, the war didn't exist. But peace never lasts. Word spread of a human deserter hiding an alien. The army began sweeping the ruins again. When Leora heard the first gunshots in the distance, she knew the end had come. "Go," she told him. "If they find you with me, they'll kill you. I'm not leaving you." She smiled sadly. "You already saved me once. Don't throw it away." "Leora." She pressed her glowing hand to his chest. "Promise me you'll live." He caught her hand, voice breaking. "Not without you." Then the soldiers came. Part 4. Love and Fire. They surrounded the library ruins before dawn. Floodlights cut through the dark like blades. "Captain Elias Ward," a voice shouted. "You're under arrest for treason and collaboration with alien forces." Leora stood beside him, trembling but proud. "It's me they want. Let me go to them." "No." He grabbed his rifle, the same one he'd once pointed at her, and took position by the broken archway. "If they want you, they'll have to go through me. Elias, please." He turned, eyes full of fire. "You changed me, Leora. I won't let them take that away." She felt tears burn her eyes. "You foolish, beautiful human." The soldiers advanced. Gunfire erupted. Elias fought like a man who had already died once. Every shot he fired bought her seconds. She tried to help, summoning what was left of her Velarian energy, a surge of silver light that shattered the air, throwing soldiers backward. But there were too many. When Elias fell, a bullet tearing through his chest, the world stopped. She ran to him, hands shaking, pressing them to his wound. "No, no, no." He smiled weakly, blood on his lips. "Told you. I'd protect you." Tears streamed down her face. "You weren't supposed to die for me." He touched her cheek. "Then live for me." And with that, his hand fell limp. Part 5. What he did instead. The soldiers burst into the room moments later, only to find Leora kneeling over his body, glowing brighter than the moon. She raised her head, eyes blazing with grief and love. "You wanted death," she whispered, "but he gave me life." Then her body dissolved into pure light, a Velarian transformation few had ever witnessed. The energy surged outward, sweeping through the ruins like a tide. When it faded, every soldier stood silent. The broken city around them was suddenly blooming. Green vines, flowers, life reborn from dust. And in the middle of it all lay Elias Ward's body, peaceful, a faint silver mark glowing over his heart. Leora was gone. But her gift, her love, remained. Years later, people would call that place the Garden of the Fallen. No one knew how it began. Only that life had returned to a dead city. Because one human refused to hate, and one alien learned how to love.